he did.
It has been a tough few years for Stewart-Haas Racing and SHR fans. I mean, to start off with, you got Kevin Harvick's immense fall-off after 2020, and now his retirement. The franchise driver of this once great team, gone for good. You have a failing young core, as well as others who have failed down to the Xfinity Series, and there's no real light at the end of the tunnel for that. You're now the fourth best Ford team, behind easily Penske, RFK, and definitely now Front Row. And the worsening performance is getting down to Danica Patrick levels. That is a level that I don't think any people would think would be the norm for this team, let alone where any driver would get. And then you got what happened today. We had learned earlier in the weekend that Noah Gragson and Ryan Preece had a couple of parts taken away, the air deflectors on their cars, and it seemed pretty likely we were going to have a hefty penalty. After all, the last couple years, they go to Atlanta and the Fords manage to always get a big penalty that sets them back into the season. So I think what actually happened in this wasn't necessarily as bad as people thought. Preece and Gragson were docked 35 driver and owner points for their air deflectors not being in compliance with NASCAR as they were a team-made part. And again, many people are saying that this is not harsh enough, or compared to other penalties, why would this be so low? But when you look at the actual impact this makes to start with, for the type of teams they are, an L1 penalty still is a major, major penalty. Preece now has a grand total of 0 points on the season. It's like the first two races never happened, as bad as they may be. And now he is 47 points out already of the playoffs, only 2 races into the season. And Gragson has -6 total points and is 53 out of the playoffs, 2 races into the season. That is bad for anybody. I don't even think that a lot of top-level drivers would possibly be able to make up that many points over the next, 24 races? So when you have guys like Preece and Gragson, who have not necessarily been great Cup drivers, and equipment that constantly is failing, well, that makes it even more desperate for them. Neither are serious contenders, and when you look at both their careers, it's pretty easy to see. Noah Gragson has never competed at a high level in the NASCAR Cup Series, and suffice to say, unless a miracle happens, he is probably not going to be competing up towards the front this week at Las Vegas or in general. He's had moments in the top 10, but he's most known for basically crashing out or wrecking his career in different ways. And Ryan Preece, yes, I know, led 135 laps in the Spring Martinsville race last year, but I would say that was more of an aero reason. The bad package they had at the short tracks the last couple of years kept him up there because it was damn near impossible for many to pass. And that was shown even more when Preece got shuffled back later in the race and never could make his way back up to the top 10. He'd end up finishing 15th. That is the career highlight people are hearkening back on and saying why he could win and still make the playoffs. He is most known for a flip at Daytona last year. That's what he's known for. And it's not to say, again, that either are bad drivers, but to say that they'd be able to make this up like they were a Kevin Harvick, or say a Joey Logano who was mired back in points, I don't think that's feasible and reasonable in any way. They are in must-win territory, and I think the desperation it's going to cause either is going to reverberate through the team and be a distraction, or is going to be something to show that, yeah, they might be able to get up there through strategy, but the speed-wise part of it is going to be the difficult part. And for Noah Gragson, he didn't need anything like this whatsoever. Gragson is trying his best to rebuild his career after basically having it shot down in mid-flight last season. And while it hasn't been good to start with, this will only be more of a distraction on him and will have everyone looking at this season in a completely different way. And to me, I think that both of them, in the spots they are in, do not need this. You got Cole Custer and Riley Herbst waiting in the Xfinity Series for Stewart-Haas Racing. While neither are necessarily good Cup star-worthy talents, they both have either backing in the team or they have good sponsorship. And if Riley Herbst is able to increase the performance in a good way to what he did last year and have that monster backing, I don't see any reason in God's green earth why they would leave him down there when the money is desperately needed by the team. And as for Cole Custer, like I said, he has support in the team. His father works at a high level in Stewart-Haas Racing. There's no reason he'd stay down there much longer if they were able to have a good reason to move him back up instead of keeping him down in the Busch leagues. And that's really, I think, the main focus that needs to be watched on through the rest of the season. These guys may not be in career years when it comes to contracts. They may not have the hot seat that many other drivers, maybe like Daniel Suarez, might have had before Sunday, but they are definitely drivers who are disposable to Stewart-Haas Racing at this point. Preece, if he is not able to show that he can do better, probably can be replaced, especially if the sponsor money is there. And then you even have Hailie Deegan waiting in the background. She in no way is deserving of a cup ride, but again, if the sponsorship is there, Stewart-Haas Racing's going to jump on it. And if any of the rumors are true and Stewart-Haas Racing goes from Ford to another manufacturer and loses some of their charters, or at least one of them, these two are the ones who would lose their rides. It would not be Chase Briscoe. There is no way in hell, I think it is, and it's way too early to judge Josh Berry, but he's not somebody who's going to save this team either. So, to me, this is a much bigger penalty than people are going to give it credit for, and I think we're going to see reverberations throughout the Stewart-Haas camp, and maybe to a degree the Ford camp, because all these manufacturer teams work together, and you have no idea which Ford teams were learning what from them. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to you. What do you think of the penalties? Are they a little too much? Are they too little for your liking? Or do you think it is just enough? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.
You serious? Thank you for what? Standing there?